Hello again. So the last video of this day, right? Because I'm already exhausted or tired, you may say so. We'll see more examples of the past perfect continuous, right? It doesn't change much. It's just to give examples because just seeing the rule is not good. In order to learn grammar, you must see examples, and it's also advisable that you make some sentences on your own, right? Try to practice writing sentences or reading small texts and trying to identify the verb tenses, right? It's a good way to exercise. You may find many resources on the internet. Anyway, the purpose here is not to give exercises. Perhaps sometime in the future I may change my strategy and start making or suggesting some exercises, but right now my objective here is to cover the entire grammar, or at least the basic grammar, and then go to the vocabulary, phrasal verbs, and then afterwards, when I have time, it's a good idea because exercises help you memorize, okay, the rule. Okay, let's get started. Get started, shall we? All right. So you remember that the past perfect continuous has a continuous nature, okay? Every time you see continuous tenses, it involves ing, right? But it's a past perfect tense. So remember the structure: had plus verb to be in the past participle plus the main verb with ing. So let's see some other examples. My friend lives in New York. Okay, this is the simple present. I'm just giving you a fact that my friend lives in New York, or lived, anyway, lives in New York for some time. When I traveled to New York, he invited to stay at his home, at his house, right? He would host me there. When I traveled to New York, he invited me to stay at his house. I want to tell a small story here so you understand the context of the past perfect continuous. I traveled. Remember that traveled is simple past. So let's just mark this event here. Travel. It's in the past. The present is here, it's far away, right? Doesn't have anything to do with the present. Travel was an action in the past. He had been living there for 3 years. So what's the context here? What's the big deal here? Why I used the past perfect here? Because I traveled to New York, okay? I have a friend who lives in New York, but I traveled there. It's in the past. And before I traveled to New York, before I traveled to New York, I have a friend that had been living in New York for a long time before my trip, right? I traveled here, and my friend has been living had been living in New York for 3 years. So the event of he living in New York for 3 years is the first action in the past, and we use the past perfect. We use the past perfect when it's the first action in the past. The second action, which is my trip, right? I traveled, is in simple past. All right, another example. I had been working out with my teacher for some time. I had been working out with my teacher for some time, so it's an action in the past. Started. Let's see, I had been working out for 1 hour and a half, okay? 1 hour and a half, I had been working out. I stopped, and then I was very tired. So, I was tired is kind of the consequence, right? I had been working out with my teacher for some time is the first action in the past. The second action or event is that I was tired. Okay? So the same thing. I guess we could say that we are covered by these examples. But let's see something now comparing two verb tenses. We have the present perfect continuous and the past perfect continuous. Remember when I told you that in the present perfect tense, the action or the event has a connection with the present? Remember that? So keep that in mind. The past perfect doesn't have any connection with the present, and it involves two actions in the past. The first one, the past perfect, and the second one, the simple past. All right, so for example, I'm very upset. I had been I'm very upset, right? I'm very angry. I have been waiting for my package for 3 hours. So imagine you ordered a package of something, food or a parcel, right? Of food or something you bought on the internet, and a supermarket, for example. And you bought something there. Now, I'm very upset now. So this is now. Why am I upset? Because I have been waiting for my package for 3 hours. So I use the present perfect continuous tense here because it's a continuous action. It has ing. The verb have plus to be in the past participle plus the main verb with ing. Okay, that's right. Then what else we have here? Now I'm upset because I have been waiting for my package. So I use the present perfect here because it has connection with the present. I'm upset now. It has a connection here. What's the reason of my being upset? I had been waiting for my package for whole 3 hours. Okay? So this is the present perfect. Now let's see the past perfect. The mail. No, that's right. Another thing, another example. The delivery came. The delivery came at night. Okay, I was waiting for the package to arrive. The delivery came. Then what? I had been waiting for 3 hours. So you see the example is different. The event, the past perfect continuous has a connection with an event in the past, not in the present. And why does it have a connection? Because the delivery came at night. Okay, the delivery. You have a delivery at night. Before the delivery arrived, before the arrival of the package, I had been waiting for 3 hours. So, waiting. So I used the past perfect here because my waiting was the first action. I had been waiting. The delivery came at night was the second action. So I waited for a long time until the package arrived. It has no connection with now. Now is here and the actions happened entirely in the past. Right? So that's it. I hope you understood this verb tense. It's not difficult, right? And then in the next video, we'll see another thing, right? We are done with the past perfect continuous for 2 reasons. First of them, it's a similar verb tense. It has the same logic. When you put ing, it's a continuous tense, okay? The present perfect continuous, you also put ing. But there is a big difference because the present perfect continuous has a connection with now. The past perfect continuous, on the other hand, has a connection with another action in the past. So it has a connection with the past. And it happens when you have 2 actions in the past. So that's it. I hope you understood. The next lesson is not about past perfect anymore, right? Bye-bye. Have a nice day.